China Day-9, Beijing Day-5.
And yes, I'm wearing the same top. I did laundry, shut up, it's okay. And bro took me to the breakfast place that he always goes to before he goes to work.
Which one are you getting me?
The 6th one, because it's kind of
Oh my goodness, I don't know what exactly was in this, but it was so good. The seasoning just, mwah, chef's kiss. So incredibly good.
So this is with the sugar.
Ooh!
This is without sugar. Okay.
Which one's? See.
And thank goodness for bro. I needed an extra SD card because I didn't bring another one, and I was like literally out of room on the one I had, and he was able to find a place like really close to my hotel, and we went there. He talked to the ladies, we got the right one, we put in my camera to make sure it worked. I bought it, and he called us a taxi to go to the temple. Except right when we got there, I was like, hey, you have the other SD card, right? The one that has all of my footage from my trip so far, including all the stuff from the Great Wall. And he was like, no, I thought you picked it up. And I was like, oh. And so he was able to call them and talk to them, which I couldn't have done either of. And they were like, oh yeah, we have it. You can pick it up later. So just, oh my God, that was so close. Thank goodness for bro. And you can pause to read this if you are so inclined. And this was the Lama temple in Beijing. It was quite cool. I don't know if I would necessarily recommend it because there's a lot of other stuff to do in Beijing besides this, but it was on my list, so I was really happy that I was able to go. And the architecture was really cool. There was some cool little museum spots and just, you know, the vibe. I also have to note that while I was with bro for those last few days, no one asked me for a photo. It was like he was protection or something, like they were too scared since I was with someone, but I got the same amount of looks.
What do you say?
Some small security.
And this was a little representation of the emperor, where he would have been, how he would have sat and been displayed. This was really cool. It was huge. That's what she said. No, but for real. Also, I have to say that, you know, whenever I'm with someone, I try not to be recording and have my camera out or whatever, or my phone out that much. So today's vlog is like way shorter than the rest of the vlogs because we actually spent like all day together. And this I was just very impressed with. It was so intricate.
Oh my God.
So if you can see there, it says silver skull cap. That's a human skull. And I was like, okay, is that a good thing or a bad thing? Like, is that someone's skull that was like a traitor or a criminal? So like they took his skull out or whatever. But no, it was like a really smart guy or like some type of warrior or something like that. He looked it up. And so if you drank from like their skull where their brain was, it was supposed to be good for you. I don't know. I was like, God damn.
That's so hardcore.
And finally, we had enough of this place, and we were heading to the Temple of Heaven. Finally, goddamn. But of course, you know me, I gotta have my ice, so I got some of that first. And here we are. It was so cool, and we were like sharing earbuds, listening to music. He really liked my music, some of it at least. And this was just, oh, the design, the colors, the green, the blue. Oh, I want to learn all about like Chinese color language and stuff like that, because from what I learned before, blue was like a funeral color, so it wasn't like that great, but I saw so much blue. And he thought I didn't need a ticket, and I was like, I think I do. So we went up there, and they were like, you need a ticket. So I just went and got one. But, oh, there were so many people. It was just hard to think and function. But honestly, they were kind of all on one side. So, like, we walked around the place, and then there eventually weren't that many people. But it was really hard to get a good photo. First off, because of the people. Second off, because of the lighting. Even though we came at a time when it was like crazy busy, I was so glad to finally have gotten to the Temple of Heaven. I've been meaning to go there for so long. And this middle part, I got 2 different shots. They look similar, but I promise they're different. And the middle part is where the emperor would be like going past while he was in his little seat. And then the people carrying him would be walking up the steps on the side, which is, you know, the middle part is like flat or whatever. And it's like, how is that reserved for the emperor? How could he go up it? And it's like, well, he didn't actually take steps on his own feet. And this was the cutest thing. I love to see everyone in costume, especially the little kids. And the blue and the green, you know I love me some blue and some green. Now, this is when things started to go south. For a solid few hours, I was upset with him because he asked if I wanted him to take photos of me, and I was like, maybe, and I told him to, like, go stand up there, you know, and, like, told him a specific spot so that I could see, you know, using him as kind of like a stand-in to see, okay, if I stand right there, I can get a good photo, and anyways, I took the photos, I decided the lighting wasn't good, I didn't want a photo, and he told me to delete the photos. And I was like, oh, that is sketchy. That's really sketchy. And so after that, I wouldn't hold his hand. I was barely talking, nothing. It took until we left the place and got to like a taxi. And then he scratched my arm or something. And I was like, okay, it's okay now. And then when we got dinner, I like told him about it. He was like, no, it's just because like I'm insecure. I didn't think I looked good in the photo. Like, it's not because, you know, you can post it if you want. And I was like, no, you're good. I'm sorry. Anyways, that was a little bit of a, you know, rough patch. But that ass, I was almost like, let's go our own ways now. I know that in Chinese culture, it's like, if you split the bill, you split the relationship or whatever. And I was like, how much was the ticket in here? I think I should pay you back for it. And then he was like, oh, how does dating culture work in America? Because here, like, the guy's supposed to pay for everything. And I was like, oh, it depends. And I was like, yeah, I know that. I'm just upset. Anyways, this tree was 290 years old. If it had a green tag, it was younger. I think yellow was like medium age and red was older. So then this tree was 520 years old. It was so cool. There were so many old trees, and it was really nice that they were all labeled. So this one was 550 years old, and it was like, god damn. But at this point, I was still upset with him. So I was kind of just like doing my own thing again, not talking, but holding my phone in my hand so he couldn't hold my hand. Oh my goodness. But it was still pretty nonetheless.
Can't stand what?
Those sort of poses.
And he was saying he didn't like this style of traditional outfit or the poses they were doing and like the makeup or whatever. And this was so cool. The intricacy of it all, the design of it all, just mwah. I'll shut up about it though so you can make your own judgments. And then we were leaving and we went to go get some tea before getting dinner. And it did rain a little bit, but not too much. And the tea was, it was aight. It was legit tea. The first pour was really strong though, and I was like, ugh. But oh my goodness, I said I wanted to try the Beijing duck, and he went all out. This place was legit. He did so good. It had the cool like art on the wall that I like with the blue and green mountains. It was just so traditional Chinese and stuff, and we got a nice little back corner booth, and there was a show, and he ordered a set for like 4 people so that we could get like all the good food, and I was like, oh my gosh, it was so cool, so good. The soup was my favorite, gotta be real with you.
Here. And a little bit this. Here. I don't know what the fuck is that. But
Salt.
I don't know. We don't normally take.
But the traditional show, it was so cool. And then afterwards, we walked a little bit. We got some drinks. There was some more Beijing duck in the window. And he drank too much. He got too excited, drank way too much, and ended up, honestly, gonna be real, he was throwing up like the whole night. And I have a big fear of throw up, but I couldn't just like leave him, you know? So I hung out and he threw up in the bathroom and I was like, what do I do? So I was just like packing, and yeah, that's how the night went. I was glad though that he was throwing up and he wasn't like dying, you know? At least it was like coming out of him, but damn, he definitely felt like he was dying.